Hey, what's going on guys? My name is Xuen, and today we're going to be discussing my first Warlords of Draenor guide for a Windwalker Monk at level 100 in Warlords of Draenor. Now, this is a guide that I'm really excited to release, and one of the reasons for that is because I've spent a very long time doing constant number tweaking on the beta to try to find the optimal DPS spec as well as the new haste cap and what this means in order to have a smooth rotation and burst and damage going into Warlords of Draenor and at level 100. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about this new setup as well as why we're going to take it, because we did get several nerfs that do affect our rotation. And after several number tweaking hours and several testing, I've pretty much found the optimal spec for PvP as a Windwalker Monk, and I'm going to be discussing why, and hopefully by the end of this video you guys will understand and you guys will be DPSing really hard. So hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's get started. Alright guys, let's get started. So before we get started, there's something that you need to know, is that this is still pre-patch, so level 90 and level 100, there are going to be two different things. Now I've done some testing on this, and I'm going to explain to you guys why the level 90 setup is going to be different from level 100. I'm going to be explaining why you're going to be needing to take these certain builds, what they do for you, and then comparing them from level 90 to level 100. So without further ado guys, let's get started and take a look at our level 90 talents and why this spec is viable at level 90 right now. Alright guys, let's first talk about our 90 talent tree and one talent in particular, which is Chi Brew. Now first I'm going to explain what Chi Brew actually is. Chi Brew is a talent that you can take at level 30 as a Windwalker Monk, and it gives you 2G and 2 Brew depending on what spec you are. And thanks to our mastery, if you are a Windwalker, you can proc additional Tiger's Eye Brew by popping Chi Brew. So if you're going into an arena match and you pop Chi Brew right off the bat, which is normally what you would do, you can burst really fast because you can get up to 8 Tiger's Eye Brew thanks to our mastery. Now they did increase the Chi Brew cooldown to 1 minute from 45 seconds, so it got a slight nerf. And the thing that's so appealing about this talent in Warlords of Draenor is they also increased our Chi to Tiger's Eye Brew. Now what this means that we basically have to spend more Chi now in order to gain a stack of Tiger's Eye Brew. It used to be 4 Chi in Mist Pandaria that we'd had to consume in order to gain a Tiger's Eye Brew, but now it's changed to 6 Chi in Warlords of Draenor consumed in order to gain a stack of Tiger's Eye Brew. So this talent is actually really appealing, and it is actually the best setup for level 90 because of the increased haste if you have PvP gear. The reason for that is because PvP power is basically converted into extra haste, so you can have a very smooth rotation without using Ascension, because what Ascension did, it gave you increased energy regain. But we can use Chi Brew and Rushing Jade Wind because those pair really well together and it does a lot of damage. So I suggest taking this spec for early Warlords of Draenor until you reach level 100. Now, once we get to level 100, I'll be discussing this later, and we'll be discussing that later on in the video of the different setup. Now that we've gone over the most optimal DPS spec for level 90, let's next take a look at level 100 and talk about the best setup once you reach level 100 in Warlords of Draenor. Alright guys, before we get into our first build, because there's two builds that you can go with for Warlords of Draenor depending on your playstyle, let's first get into our haste cap and our energy regain. Now basically, you need enough haste that you get at least above 12 energy per second. The reason for this is because in order to have a smooth rotation as a Windwalker Monk, meaning that even in PvP when you are using energy to heal and use energy to root, you still have enough energy to jab by the time you run out of Chi. You need at least 12 energy per second for that. Let's now talk about our first build for Warlords of Draenor, which is optional. Now this isn't the optimal build, but it is a way for you to spec in Warlords of Draenor. That spec is going to be Chi Brew and Invoke Xuen. The reason for this is because when you take Chi Brew, even if you enchant and gem, you're not going to be able to get above that 12 energy per second safe zone. Now Invoke Xuen is just one of those fillers that you don't have to worry about. If you take Rushing Jade Wind, you have to use that energy for jab, and you're not able to keep up the best rotation, even with Chi Brew and Rushing Jade Wind, because of its increased cooldown. So basically you'd be taking this setup. Now let's talk about the pros of this setup. Now the pros are that you do get to DPS quite more often in burst. The Chi Brew, like I've said before, allows you to build up to 8 Tiger's Eye Brew if you're a Windwalker, even before you get into a PvP fight. Now you lose that if you take Ascension, and it requires a lot more ramp up time. The cons are the Invoke Xuen. The Invoke Xuen does inferior damage to Rushing Jade Wind, and not only that, it can break CC a lot, especially if you're running something like KF Chi, which relies on traps, which can break from the Invoke Xuen's aura. Let's next talk about our second option, which is basically going to be the optimal DPS spec for Windwalkers and Warlords of Draenor. Now, that setup is going to go as followed. It's going to be Ascension and Rushing Jade Wind. Now, as I said before, Rushing Jade Wind does way more damage than Invoke Xuen, and it's a lot more on-demand burst. Now, those are the pros of Rushing Jade Wind. The cons are you're going to have to make sure that you have a cancel Rushing Jade Wind macro to make sure you don't break any CC, but it is less likely that you can break CC if you have that macro, unlike if you're taking Invoke Xuen. Now the pros of taking Ascension is that we're going to be above 12 energy per second, almost at 13 energy per second, and when we get into a PvP situation, we're going to be above 13 energy per second, which is well over your energy rough cap. So you're definitely going to be having a smooth rotation as a Windwalker Monk at level 100. Not only that, Ascension allows you to enchant versatility to all your rings, your neck, and your cloak for more damage and more defensives and more healing, because we are very squishy in Warlords of Draenor. Now the cons of Ascension are basically that you are not going to have instant uptime on your targets. It's going to be much slower to stack Tiger's Eye Brew, especially with that increase in chi consumption per Tiger's Eye Brew going into Warlords. But once you get that 10 Tiger's Eye Brew stack and you're going on the offensive, it's really easy to keep up those stacks, so that by the time that you run out of Tiger's Eye Brew, you're going to have another 10 to use. Alright guys, this basically concludes my guide discussing the new Windwalker setup for level 100 and level 90 in Warlords of Draenor. Hope you guys found this guide helpful. If you did, be sure to leave it a like and comments if you have any further questions, and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. If you guys want to check us out at Good Gaming, be sure to do so. There's links in the description. They're the reason why I'm basically making such high quality videos, and I'm trying to do it for you guys as well, because I really want to reach out and help more people. So if you guys have any other questions about any other classes, be sure to check us out there, because there are several awesome players, not just for WoW, that are helping that site grow and trying to produce some awesome content. So be sure to check us out there. Look forward to the new guides coming out, which are going to be survivability guides as well as rotation. But other than that, hope you guys enjoyed this guide, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Take care.
Good Gaming, an e-learning and social networking platform built exclusively for gamers and designed to turn you into an esports champion. We give you the tools, resources, and support to game better. Instructional videos and e-learning guides give you access to powerful strategies and the secrets of the pros, so you can dominate your opponents. Our exclusive mercenary system gives you access to personalized support or offer your own services to the highest bidder, and compete in exclusive Good Gaming online tournaments to win cash and prizes. What are you waiting for? Become a Good Gaming member today. Good Gaming, revolutionize your game.